Hi, welcome back to my channel. Thanks for coming back. I know it's been a minute. I have been very busy, and I know I say this in every single video that I have uploaded this far. But the truth of the matter is I don't have a whole lot of time, and I'm trying to make time. So, yeah, I'm trying to make time. But anyway, today's video is going to be about brushes and some of the brushes you need if you are a beginner, and some brushes you need if you're a beginner makeup artist, and brushes you need if you're just an average person trying to do your makeup on an everyday basis. Meaning average, I don't mean an average person, I mean like someone that doesn't do makeup on a daily basis or for a living. If you want to see how to use brushes and what brushes you may need, then keep on watching. Okay, so this is a whole lot of brushes. You don't need all of these. So let's get started. Okay, I'm going to start with foundation brushes. Okay, so we're going to start off with talking about foundation brushes, and I chose a few here to begin with. Okay, so let's begin by talking about the content of a brush. This is your typical brush. This is Real Techniques, and Real Techniques makes affordable brushes. I love their brushes. I don't know if I said that in the intro. Anyway, so the most important thing is the bristles. This is your typical foundation brush, and this is synthetic, made by Real Techniques, as I said a billion times. The bristles either come in natural hair fibers or synthetic. Natural hair is going to be made with animal hair, either goat, horse, sable, squirrel, and synthetic are going to be man-made, of course. Natural fur bristles cannot be used with cream at all. That will ruin your brush, and it will not apply properly. It will have streaks. You don't want to use that. So remember, synthetic for powder and cream, natural for powder only. The density is very important also on the bristles. The denser the brush, meaning the more fibers and the more packed, the more product they will hold. But the less dense, the less product they will hold, and the more will go on. So, for instance, powder, you want to use something less dense. It can have a lot of bristles as long as it's not packed so tight, and that is a perfect powder brush. So, this is the ferrule, and the ferrule is what holds the bristles in place and keeps them packed tight. So, when you wash your brushes, and I'm just going to throw this in right now, but I'm going to talk about it again at the end. When you're washing your brush, you want to make sure that you wash downward. So you don't want to ever flip your brush up like this and wash it. And you want to try not to get this part wet so much, like soaked. And I know it's kind of hard to do, and you got to figure it out. So yeah, keep it when you're drying them, after you brush them, if you're drying them, you want to hold them upright like this. No, this would be upright. So you want to hold them down so that the water drips down and doesn't get into the ferrule. Oops. And then the handle. So this is the handle. So the handle, the ferrule, and the bristles. So foundation brushes come in different forms. Different shapes. Alright, so Real Techniques makes several different foundation brushes. This can be used, it's actually a stippling brush. However, this can be used to contour, this could be used to apply blush, this could be used to apply bronzer, or foundation. I love using stippling brushes for foundation because you can stipple the foundation in, and then you can go over it with a beauty blender. But anyway, I love these stippling brushes for that reason. And again, this is Real Techniques. I love Real Techniques brushes. I have brushes from almost every brand, well, no, I'm not going to say almost every brand, but from a lot of different companies, and Real Techniques are some of my favorites. So yeah. And then you have the very dense kind of kabuki style brush, and this will hold a lot of foundation in. So when you're blending your foundation in, yeah, you just want to use a very little product, because this will hold it, but it'll also distribute a lot. So this is great for that. And then Real Techniques made this new guy, and I love this brush. This brush is great for, it's made like a triangle, and you have like these sides right here, and then you have this little triangle right here, so that you can even spot conceal if you wanted to. But these are great for getting the sides of the nose, under the eyes. I mean, this is just a great foundation brush. And there's many different options. So there's like, these are only, God, a few options. You have thousands of options. But if I were a beginner, I would go with your basic foundation brush. It's just easier to handle, easier to use. You just want to make sure that, you know, you don't get any streaks, so you want to go over it, you know, several times. But I would recommend this for a beginner. And then one more foundation brush that I love, but I actually use it for powder, is the Smashbox Sheer Foundation Brush. And this is a really good brush because the bristles are tapered. So when applying, you are not applying most of your product to one area. It kind of helps distribute all of the product all over. And see, the bristles are densely packed, but they're tapered, so like I said, distributes evenly. However, I like this for powder because it won't hold a lot of product. So when you're applying the powder, it won't apply like gobs of powder, so you don't get that cakey look. So this is great for powder as well. These are some of the powder brushes that I love. And I'll talk about the Real Technique ones first. Real Technique, and this is made of natural hair. I'm not sure if it's goat, squirrel, I'm not sure. This is Real Techniques. I love this brush, and I love it mainly because of how it looks, but it is great for powder. When I use it for powder, I usually dip it in the powder and then turn it upside down and kind of hit it on a table or my hand. That helps the powder to absorb, and then when you're applying the powder, and this is great for setting powder. I wouldn't recommend it for finishing. And there's a difference between setting and finishing powder. Setting powder is powder that you that goes on once you put your foundation on, you put your concealer on, and you kind of just want to set it. So you want to set it with a setting powder, and that's another tutorial. But so you just apply the product. So yeah, I wouldn't recommend this for finishing. For finishing, you want something like this. This is less dense. It has a lot of fibers, but it's less dense. It's fluffy. So this is perfect for powder. So this is something you want to use for powder. This is by True Beauty, and I got this at TJ Maxx. It was, I think, like $6, and I love this brush. It's an awesome brush, but this would be good for a finishing powder, because it will distribute the powder all over, and because it's less dense, it won't distribute a whole lot of powder in one area. It's kind of like diffuse it all over. So something like this would be great for powder. Another one I would recommend for powder is this kabuki brush. I really don't know where I got this, but giving you ideas on the brushes that you will need on a daily basis. So this also is a good brush for distributing finishing powder. and this will hold a lot. This is a little more dense than something like this, but this is also a good brush for finishing powder or setting your powder. So, and this is synthetic as well as this. These are synthetic bristles. And another brush that I love from e.l.f. and e.l.f. makes amazing brushes that are so affordable. This was only $3, and this is a great brush for finishing your powder. This is for under the eye, for concealing, for around the nose, the forehead. I mean, this is a great powder brush, so I like using this for powder as well. So on to blush brushes. Real Techniques makes a, this is actually a powder brush, but I love it for blush. It's really round and fluffy, and it has a lot of fibers. This is great for foundation. For blush. This is great for even bronzing, because you can get around the cheek area, you can get under the chin, the forehead. So yeah, this would be a great brush for blush. Going back to the e.l.f. brush, this also would be great for blush. This would even be great for highlighting, like above the cheeks, or the cheekbone. So this is also great for blush. Contour brushes. Contour brushes are great for someone that is a little more experienced with makeup, someone, maybe a makeup artist, well, yeah, obviously a makeup artist. So some of the brushes that I would recommend for someone that's maybe just getting started with contouring are, this is a brush from Royal and Langnickel. And Morphe makes one just like this. I have it, I just don't know where it's at. But yeah, I was making sure this wasn't my Morphe one because it looks just like it. Royal and Langnickel are very affordable brushes. You can get them online. But this is a really good contour brush because it's tapered and it's densely packed. So you can get a lot of product on the hollows of the cheeks. That's where you want to do your contouring. So this is a great brush for that. Also, e.l.f. makes a great contour brush, and this one is, I don't know, what is this, oval shaped? I guess it's oval shaped, but this is another great one, and this one you can get right in there in the hollows of the cheeks. So this is a great contour brush. e.l.f. $3. Okay, so another brush that I like to use for contour is this one. It's a little fluffier than this one, but this is also really good for contouring, especially if you have a bigger face. This works great for getting under the, like I have big cheekbones, so I love this for contouring. This is also good for blush, so this, you can even use this for bronzer. So this is a really good brush too. So some of the highlight brushes. This is a really good brush for highlighting. This is also good for contouring. This is good for bronzing, but I use it to highlight. This one in particular is made by a company named JoJo. All the companies make these. So you can get one from Morphe, you can get one from Smashbox. They all make fan brushes. And this is great for highlight. So you just get right in there. So I would recommend one of these. Another brush that is one of my favorites, if you don't like the fan brush, this one's by Morphe. And this is the Morphe 510. And this is perfect for highlighting for me. It just gets right in there. You can also use this to contour. So this would also be a good brush for that. This is one of the ones I would recommend as well. Okay, let's talk about concealing now. So some of the concealer brushes that I use are not actually concealing brushes. This one, for instance, is a, this is a angled eyeshadow brush. This is actually really good for the crease, getting in there, because it's flat. so it goes right, fits right in there. But I like using this for my concealer. The reason I like it for concealer is because it's the way it's shaped, so it's flat like that, and it just gets right in there. And it's like with the brush, you just make light like taps, and that blends perfectly. So this is a really good concealer brush. This one is Sigma, and this is the P88 brush by Sigma. So this is a really good one for that. Another one that I highly recommend, this is another one from Royal and Langnickel, and this is actually a flat shader brush for the eyes. This is another one I love to use for concealer. And this is also good for, you can also use something like this for highlight, but I would recommend this for concealing, and then you can also use it for your lids. And the last one for concealing is this by e.l.f. This is actually, they call it a blending brush. However, I think it's too flat for blending. I prefer it for concealing as well. And with this, you can get right in there. As a matter of fact, this one is really good for getting right into the corner of the eyes. So I would recommend one of these for, because this is the hardest part to get into. So this would be great for that. Yeah, so and these are really, again, $3 for these. Great brushes for concealing. And the last brush that I'm going to talk about for concealing is from e.l.f. And this is another that's really thick. Not thick, but fluffy, and this is a great concealer brush. So yeah, this is the Flawless Concealer Brush, so I would recommend this as well. And next we're going to talk about blending brushes, and here's a few that we're going to talk about. Actually, not a few, there's a lot. Okay, so the first one we're going to talk about is by Morphe, and this is the M441. Yeah, M441. This is one of my favorite blending brushes by Morphe. This is tapered, and it has like the tip, which gets right into the crease, very defined, and it's just a great blending brush. This is one of my favorites. And then the other one by Morphe is this one. It's a little shorter. It's a little shorter than this one, and a little flatter. This one is a little longer, so this one's flatter. This is another great blending brush for getting right into the crease. You can always use this to put your eyeshadow into the crease, and then this to blend it out. So this is these two brushes. And I'm going to leave the numbers for all the brushes in the description box at the end. So the next one is by Sigma, and this is the Sigma E44 brush. This is a firm blending brush. So this is, again, great for getting right into the crease. I wouldn't recommend this for all over blending because it's very stiff. This one's also great for underneath the eye, for smoking out the bottom lash line. This is really good for the corners of the eye. This is good for blending the inner crease though. So it's not good for all over blending. For all over blending, you want to use something like this, something that's fluffy and not as tight. See the difference? This one's shorter, this one's taller, and this one gets all over, so you do those windshield wiper and circular motions. This is more of a windshield wiper, not all over, if you know what I mean. So yeah, I recommend these, and these are the E40. I have two of them because I just do. And another type of brush I'd like to talk about is, this one is from Smashbox, and this is a buildable, this is actually a buildable concealer brush, but I love this for getting right in on the lid and packing that color in. This is perfect for that. So this, yeah, like I said, it's the buildable concealer brush, but because it's has the flat fibers, and then it's kind of like oval shaped. It's perfect for the lid. Another one by Sonia Kashuk, or Kushik. I'm sorry, butchering the name. This is a very small, flat definer brush, and this is also good for, especially if you have small eyes or small lid space. This is perfect for getting into the lid. This is great for the inner corners as well, and it's great for underneath, defining the lash line, or smudging out the lash line, I should say. So this is perfect for that. Yeah, I love this brush. Another that's very similar to the Sonia Kashuk brush. I keep saying her name different ways, right? Because I'm trying to say the right one. Alright, and this one is Royal and Langnickel. And this is a very small defining brush, flat defining brush. This one is perfect for the inner corner and underneath the lash line, the bottom lash line. So this one is a must. e.l.f. also makes a very small definer brush. These are only $1 from, you can get them at Target, Walmart, and they're only $1, and they work just as well for the inner corners and the bottom lash line. So the other brushes I want to talk about are the flat angled brush and the flat brush. These brushes, this is an eyebrow brush, and this is great for defining the brow shape. You just dip it in your product and you just go along, and this works great. It's also great for those sparse brows, for putting in the color. I love this. You can also use this for underneath the eye. The flat angled brush is also another one I like to use this to clean up the brow. So once you shape your brow with this, and then you go in with a use a concealer to kind of clean up the edges. So that's what I would use this for. Also, this is great for eyeshadow, if you want to put eyeshadow around the lash line. Yeah, these are definitely a must. Here's the pencil brush I was looking for. So this is, again, this is a Sigma pencil brush, and this one has like a really tiny, like oval shaped tapered fibers, bristles. So this is perfect for doing the outer V. This is perfect for underneath the lower lash line, for putting the highlight in the corners of the eyes. So this is another must-have. Okay, everyone, so those are the brushes I recommend. I know it's a lot. I know I gave a lot of information. The brushes that you absolutely should have if you're just putting your makeup on a daily basis are your foundation brush, your powder brush, your concealer brush, your blending brush, your flat angled brush, your brush for your lid, and if you're into contouring, your contour brush, and a blush brush, which can also be used for your bronzer or your contour. So those are the brushes that I highly recommend you have. Okay, my camera just stopped working. Another brush that I recommend that I didn't talk about is the brow brush. It looks like a spoolie. Well, yeah, I guess it is a spoolie. And you use this to brush your eyebrows before and after you apply your before and after you shape your eyebrows. So yeah, this is another one that you should have. You can also use this to kind of separate your lashes. So this is highly recommended, and I didn't talk about this. This one is by e.l.f. So go and stock up on $3 brushes from e.l.f. You can get everything that I talked about here. You can get all those brushes. You don't need to get, you know, expensive brushes to start out. You can get $3 brushes. Even the dollar brushes from e.l.f. are great. Okay, now I want to talk about cleaning your brushes. So for spot cleaning, say you're not a makeup artist, you're just an average person putting your makeup on every day. And again, I don't mean average by you're an average person, you're probably an amazing person, but you know what I mean. Anyway, so what you want to do, I'm sorry, I just hit my cap. So what you want to do, and please excuse this disgusting paper towel. I'm just too lazy to get up and get a clean paper towel. So to spot clean, you want to take your brush, and what I use is this Berman Industries. This is like industrial strength brush cleaner. e.l.f. also makes an amazing one. My battery's dying, so I'm going to go fast. You want to spray your paper towel or whatever you're using, and that's how you spot clean. And that's all you do. If you're working on just yourself, you're not putting this brush on someone else after you've just used it. Now, if you're a makeup artist and you need to wash your brushes, or if you've used your brushes for 6 months and you finally decide you want to wash your own brushes, your personal use brushes, I like Purity. Purity is amazing. And when you clean your brushes, you go to the sink, you put a little on the tip, and then you use your hand, you clean your brush like that, and then when you dry them, try to set them in a place to where they're either at an angle going down, or try to set them this way somehow. Never put them upside right, or right side up. Never, because the water drips down into the ferrule and it rots out the ferrule part. So your bristles will end up falling out and it'll just kill the longevity of your brushes. So you don't want to clean them that way. You should actually be cleaning your brushes like once every week, really. Whether you use them yourself or you're a makeup artist. If you're a makeup artist, you should be cleaning them after every person, like taking them home and washing them. That's what you need to do. So anyway, my battery's dying, and this video is already way too long, like they always do. So I want to thank you very much for watching this video, and please subscribe to my channel. I would love to have you in my little alchemy family. I only have a few subscribers. I'm a very teeny weeny channel, and I'm trying to grow my channel, so I would love it if you subscribed. I will have more in-depth information on brushes in the very near future, but this is kind of just to kind of give you a heads up on what's up with brushes if you're just getting started in makeup artistry, or you're just getting started, I don't know, wearing makeup. So I kind of just wanted to tell you a little bit about the basic brushes that you should be using if you're just getting started. So thanks for watching, and please subscribe, and I am trying to have my videos every Tuesdays and Thursdays. I'm very, very bad about that, I know, but I'm trying my best. So anyway, thanks for watching, and I hope I was helpful. Please give me a thumbs up and comment. Let me know what you would like to see in the future, or if this sucked badly, or if you got some info out of it. Again, thanks for watching, and I will see you in the next video. Bye!